Hello, my name is Devon Hendricks. I'm coming today to talk about my assignment for week 3. My assignment for week 3 is basically touching upon crisis and change. Um, some of the articles that I read about crisis and change gave me a better understanding about how the world works and how everything is evolving, especially with a lot of change for the new millenniums and how people and organizations and everybody else is changing with them. One of our topics is about Toys R Us. Now, with this topic, Toys R Us is pretty much, I want to say, for my era, it was a very, very big toy store. I didn't really know about Baby R Us until like later on in the year, but Toys R Us was one of the biggest toy stores you wanted to go to. Um, to be honest, it was kind of expensive. I never really shopped there. My parents never really shopped there, but um, around the holidays they'll have sales and big events going on to target the holidays for people to buy gifts for the children. Now, recently, a lot of Toys R Us stores have closed. When I first heard about this a couple of years ago, I was kind of in shock because I'm like, why are they closing? And one of the articles said a lot of its pressure is coming from Amazon, which is accurate. Especially online, you could sell and buy anything that's online, and how this day and age is changing. You really don't really need a Toys R Us anymore. You can buy anything off the internet, sell anything off of the internet, and a lot of people is going for more so collectible items than actual toys that get broken or whatever the case may be. However, in my opinion, I strongly feel as though that they should have never got rid of Baby R Us because it was more so toys for toddlers and stuff like that, but as well clothes and I want to say strollers and stuff like that you could get from Baby R Us and go shopping for baby showers, etc., etc. So one of the articles, it states that a toy retailer has not recovered from a dismissal holiday selling season, making the company difficult situation even worse. Now, it is under pressure and demonstrated to its lenders that it is a realistic strategy for flourishing in the uncompetitive toy industry. And they talking about Toys R Us here. It also state that Toys R Us has been already taking steps to stabilize its business, over the months. The company said excuse me, my computer acting up. The company said it was shutting down 182 stores and affecting 4,500 workers. Now that's a big deficit in the workforce, especially with these numbers. You got people that have families, you got people that need jobs, you got people that that relies on these checks and relied on this job, and 4,500 workers being out of work without having work, that caused a red flag for me, because at the end of the day, if you're shutting down these stores, you should set up something for these individuals to find work, especially the ones that actually gave 20 years, 25 years, and plus within the industry, even though that, you know, being the toy store, and, you know, it's sad to see something that, you know, growing up in your childhood's closing and stuff like that. But at the same time, that's how the world works, you know. You gotta understand, not everything isn't meant to stay the same. If you're not running with the top dogs, honestly, they should have put a plan in place before all this bankruptcy claiming and stuff like that took place. They should have put something in place to for them not to, you know, go bankrupt. Just like as much as Amazon selling toys on the internet, and pretty much that's really what it is. They selling toys on the internet for a cheaper cost, a cheaper shipping and handling, which Toys R Us could have been on top of before Amazon got to it. Or they could have partnered with Amazon so that way they won't necessarily fall out of business by giving them a nice percentage in their company, plus have them sell their toys for Toys R Us for them. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not clear, you know, of how 800, you know, well, in this one it says 182 stores are being shut down, and then they said the company operates about 800 stores in the United States. So that mean 800 stores in the United States. A lot of these stores have been shut down because I haven't seen a Toys R Us open or Baby R Us open in a long time. So that's a lot of products. What happened to the products that wasn't sold? You know what I'm saying? So it's also stated in one of these articles. Analyst says that the company's biggest problem stemmed for its filing last year of Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. After its private equity owners left it saddleless with $5 billion in debt. Like, okay, how are you $5 billion in debt? That's a big question mark, because that is kind of that's crazy. All right, it says the bankruptcy filing only months before Christmas left many shoppers with the impression that the company was shutting down, even though it planned to keep all its stores operating through the holidays, said Jim Silver, the editor of TTPM, a toy review website. So if they filed for bankruptcy and they kept the stores open during Christmas, right? But a lot of people was under the impression that the company was shut down. I mean, I bet you they lost a lot of dividends and definitely saw a big gap. If you're trying to put a plan in place to operate during the holidays, but you're filing bankruptcy, man, you should have had a sale at least to get some of that money back, because I bet you if y'all had to cut down y'all prices just a little tad bit, then a lot of your merchandise would have definitely, you know, sold. What else it says? All right. One thing I wanted to address, it says a toy store needs to be fun and engaging and attractive, said Mr. Silver. Toys R Us has been talking about bettering customer service and experience, but they never really transpire. Now, this is a very, I want to say, a good statement, because you need all the marketing skills. You need something to put in place to actually keep the business running. You definitely want to connect with customers. You definitely want to live the experience. But just like the video, how they had to make a shopping cart better than, you know, how it was before. They had to go out and actually get the feedback from customers and actually go test the products out, get their own input by actually going out in the field and work. With Toys R Us, you need to actually go out in the field and work, because as a kid growing up, my parents was in a low income housing. You get what I'm saying? Section 8, all this, extra stuff. And they couldn't afford toys from Toys R Us because it was expensive. I remember excuse my language. I remember a Super Soaker was probably like $15 for a piece of plastic. So at the end of the day, if you living in a low income and pretty much you have a Toys R Us around the corner from the projects, not a lot of people coming to Toys R Us to buy your toys. They coming to steal it because your prices are ridiculous. So that's one thing that they could have worked on, is the pricing of that. I want to jump over to another article. That article right there, that was only one article, and that was from, the title is Toys R Us template closing 200 more contemplates. Toys R Us contemplates closing 200 more stores. That was that one, and that was by Courtray Michael. I don't know how to pronounce his name. New York Times. So that's one article. Another article that I found interesting was the first article. It says unpacking toys boxes. This one was really talking about when Toys R Us was finally liquidated its 740 U.S. stores. It would be good news for many landlords that has been hoping to, recapture space for most profitable tenants. Other will launch overdue redevelopment of their priorities once Toys R Us move out. That's very interesting because they have the space. Toys R Us is big. Any Toys R Us that I've been to was very big, but also they was actually renting space from, many malls, many shopping malls, many places. But also it state that Toys R Us own like more of the small spaces. So honestly, that's the money right there. They could have, sold the store or sold the space to somebody, you know what I'm saying, to get them out of this debt that they have. Like, this is crazy, because that $1 billion in debt, that's ridiculous, especially for a toy store. So with that being said, I feel as though planning and sticking to the plan and having a better strategy, you gotta understand, you have to move with the world. The world do not stop because your idea is stuck in the past. Once things start to change, you need to start to adapt to your problems. So that way, once you adapt to your problem, you adapt into society. Once society changes, you need to change with it. You can't have 1990, business plan thinking it's about to run the same and accordingly to a 2019 business plan, because it's not. Because between that time, the world evolved. You see how technology, how far that came. You see how the internet how far that came. You see how the computer alone came, from back then to now. I remember the computer screen being black with the green typing. You ain't really have internet on that. Honestly, I don't even know how the internet looked on that. And then it changed over to Windows 95, 93, you know what I'm saying? And you had AOL. Then from AOL, you had Messenger. Then you had from Messengers, Facebook. You see, like, a lot of things done change, and if you want to develop and make a benefit, especially for-profit business, you have to change with the environment. Now, if Toys R Us had made a not made a website, because I'm pretty sure they have one, but if they did something with Amazon, and instead of closing Toys R Us, they could have transferred their store to online store and had a business with Amazon, a partnership with Amazon to get their business out there. I am really over my minutes right now, but I just wanted to talk about one more thing, and this is the Toy Fair, New York. They was talking about how Toys R Us is planning to close approximately 180 stores across the country. A company stated issue January 23rd, provided an update on the plan for the process that begun last fall. This was the reinvention of our brand, and requires that we make enough decision about our priorities and focus. The action we were taking are necessary to give us the best chance to emerge from our bankruptcy proceeding as a more valuable and competitive company, which will provide the level of experience you should expect from a marketer leader. Honestly, I think it's obviously too late, but just being, just having that market skill, you need to actually go out and reinvent the brand. And honestly, Toys R Us was kind of too late to do that. Yeah, that right there is crazy. I'm still not over the $1 billion bankruptcy, but like they said in the video that I watched earlier, if crisis like this could either make you stronger and you can progress from it, or it could knock you back and can't really do much about it. You just stuck in the ways. And with this Toys R Us situation, I feel as though that they didn't really have a chance to redeem themselves and rebrand themselves, but they could have did something. I don't really know the full details of it, but they could have did something to save their store. And hopefully, they could have became. They could have became something great if they had a rebuilt sooner than waiting to having to let go so many people and go bankruptcy. Because now you're going bankruptcy, but then you got people that have family that's losing a job, that can't provide and have to find work, and then you have people that you probably owe money to, trying to keep the business alive, and it's just a lot of problems that come with it. So yeah, that's my assignment for week 3. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I wasn't going over too much of the my thoughts and keep repeating myself, but yes, my name is Devon Hendricks, and thank you for being patient.